This picture shows the SS Shield Hall at one of the most significant berths of the Second World War, although the importance is not immediately apparent. In the centre is the pump house used by the commandos training for the St. Nazaire raid in 1942, and the dry dock, now a wet dock, where Lend-Lease tanks were unloaded and breakwaters were constructed for the Mulberry Harbour. Yet until it was used as the Shield Hall's home, most people would have difficulty even finding the berth. Nevertheless, without the ships that used this berth, for example, the relief of Bastogne in 1944, might have gone differently. The berth looked very different at the time. There was a spur railway which linked a jetty to the main railway line, and the three train ferries, HMS Shepperton, HMS Hampton and HMS Twickenham, would unload their cargoes to the stern. Patton said, "My men can eat their belts, but my tanks got to have gas." He spoke these words on the 2nd of September 1944. With the breakout of Normandy and the race across France during August 44, the Allied armies had helped run the transport capabilities of their logistical support. This quote shows the central role the armoured divisions played in Patton's combat plans, but also to play this role, the armoured divisions needed fuel.
The success of the United Nations on the other side of the Channel meant that the supplies necessary to maintain them must follow them deeper and deeper into Hitler's Europe. The French railways had been robbed of most of their rolling stock by the Germans during the occupation, and so replacements from Britain and the United States were sent over both as cargo and on ferryboats equipped with a special superstructure to take them. Loading gear designed expressly for the purpose was employed to lift heavy locomotives bodily from the quaysides. Once aboard, they were run smoothly into position on the ferryboat's own rails. The principle of the peacetime Dover to Dunkirk train ferry had been very successfully adapted to Southampton's wartime needs. Thus were the railroads of France replenished with the rolling stock necessary to carry our armies further along their triumphant road to final victory.
Even the Allied air forces were drawn into the challenge. Some 11,000 tons of supplies were brought forward by bomber and transport aircraft in the period up to the 25th of August. On the 27th of August, more than 25,000 gallons of fuel were delivered by air to the Third Army. Commendable as they were, these measures were simply inadequate to sustain normal consumption rates. It was not until the French railway system became operational towards the end of September that the shortage of fuel began to be addressed. Today we take for granted train ferries, but at the time they were still a novelty. It is estimated that about 90% of the French rail system was restocked from Southampton, with the vast majority of locomotives and wagons loaded at berth 110.